I think it goes without saying that the Unity situation is pretty bad. But if you don't know what the Unity situation is, let me give you a quick explainer. Today, on their blog, Unity announced that they would be charging 20 cents per install of every game made with their engine. Now, if you don't know what Unity is, it is basically a middleware platform. It's a game engine, the same way Unreal is. And if you have ever played Fortnite, you've seen Unreal Engine in play, not to mention in countless other third-party games. Unity has been closely tied to both console and PC games for decades now. In fact, it was the default engine supplied to Wii U developers. And well, we all kind of know what happened to the Wii U. That's not what we're here to talk about, but what we are going to discuss is the details of this Unity deal. If you don't know, Unity's new deal where they charge 20 cents goes into effect on January 1st, 2024, so just over 3 months away, actually four-ish months. But it's a big deal, and some developers are already coming out to express their distaste for this. Unity is dubbing this the Unity Runtime Fee. And what this works on is basically not purchases, but installations of a Unity-based product, meaning anything developed in the Unity engine, whether it comes with a cost of its own or not. And I think that that's one of the key differentiators here. What makes this deal such a bad proposition for developers? It's that it doesn't seek to take a portion of the profits or sale price of a product. It instead just charges a flat fee based on installations of that product. And what that means is that if you buy a game for any price, whether that's $70 or it's something that's completely free to play, which I believe even Genshin Impact, one of the biggest games on the planet, is made in Unity, whether that game is free or it has a price attached, the developer has to pay Unity 20 cents every time you install it beyond a certain install base. So they offer 3 different tiers of plans for developers to subscribe to. Unity Personal and Unity Plus, which basically have a $200,000 and install amount revenue cap. So basically they say if you've made $200,000 from any Unity product in the last 12 months, and you've sold 200,000 copies, or you've installed 200,000 copies, then you will start getting charged 20 cents per install. Then they have Unity Pro, which ups that limit to $1 million and 1 million installations. And then it goes, it's like a tiered system. It goes to 15 cents per install if you've only installed about 100,000, then 75 cents, or I'm sorry, then 7.5 cents, then 3 cents, then down to 2 cents based on the larger amounts of installs that you do. And of course, finally, there's Unity Enterprise, which again has the same $1 million cap, but is a bit cheaper on the installs. Where the problem is for this, though, is when you consider deals like Game Pass, console sales, charity bundles, stuff like that. Unity has already come out and said that charity bundles will be excluded, but they haven't really described how they're going to do that. How are they going to track whether you purchased a game through a charity bundle like Humble Bundle or something like that, or whether you got it off Steam or Epic? Because if you haven't done a charity bundle before, usually you're buying codes for those same platforms. So I don't know if there's a way that they can flag this is a charity purchase or this was a charity bundle purchase. More importantly, again, what is to prevent people from just repeatedly installing a game to stick it to a developer? Basically, this opens the door for a whole new kind of bad acting. If you thought review bombing was bad, install bombing can actually put somebody out of business under this new practice. So if you have a Unity developer and say for whatever reason you don't like them, there's nothing to stop you from repeatedly uninstalling and reinstalling a game. Unity hasn't said that they're providing any type of protection for that behavior, any type of, mass installation, installing it on various multiple machines. Again, if you have a Steam Deck and a PC, which is a likely scenario, I have one myself, I can install one free demo on my PC and my Steam Deck, and that can charge the developer 40 cents. And let's say that at some point I need to delete the game to make room, and then I reinstall it because I want to finish it at a later date. The developer now has to pay a fee for me choosing to do that. That doesn't seem fair at all. It seems like a really, really bad choice that's going to do nothing but harm specifically smaller developers. In fact, AgroCrab, who is working on a hotly anticipated game on Game Pass, has already indicated that their Game Pass installations will each accrue a 20-cent fee. And they're terrified of what that's going to mean for the future of their business, for their ability to deliver products and, not go into massive debt due to the popularity of their own game. So it seems strange to me. Obviously, I don't know the inner workings of the detail between AgroCrab and Xbox and what that means with Unity. But currently the belief seems to be that even if you do something through Game Pass where the game is free and it's on console, that Unity will charge people 20 cents for every time they install it. And I wonder what that means if you play the game, say, on cloud gaming, because those games have to be installed on servers everywhere, and the developer wouldn't really have a say in how many copies of those games get installed for use with cloud gaming applications. Does that mean that the developer then has to pay 20 cents per install, where there could be thousands just to support gamers who want to stream games rather than install them themselves? There's a lot of questions left to be answered on this. Right now, it's looking like Unity is just kind of gouging developers. There's no better way to say it. Games like Hollow Knight are built on Unity, and I sincerely doubt that Team Cherry, who, are taking years and years and years to release just a DLC expansion to their one game, are going to be able to foot the bill for hundreds of thousands of gamers, if not millions, installing, Silksong whenever that comes out, or deciding to install Hollow Knight after January 1st, 2024, which I guarantee you the release of Silksong will lead to a massive uptick in installations of Hollow Knight on all these different platforms, on Switch, on Xbox, on PlayStation, on PC, on Steam Deck now, and not to mention anybody who wants to play it on the cloud. When you take into account the fact that players don't necessarily think about installing a game as something that would negatively impact the developer, why would we? It's never been something that has been the case for as long as gaming has existed. Now we have a potential way to harm a developer unintentionally through just having to manage the storage on the devices we play games on. This is scummy, it's dirty, and it's gross. It's not the right way to do business. It is not going to harm big corporations, that make AAA titles in Unity, but it's going to harm the smaller developers who create beautiful, vibrant little indie games. If they reach any level of success with their game that would traditionally mean bigger and better things for them, now they're going to be saddled with a bill for the installations of that game. They will be punished for the popularity of the titles they create. This doesn't make sense. There's no way you can make it make sense. It is just another classic case of corporate greed getting in the way of creative people doing what they do best. And I wish that we didn't live in a world where this type of stuff happened. I wish that Unity would reel this back. I sincerely hope they do. There is no one that I have seen that has come out in support of this. But if you do, let me know why you think this is a good idea. No disrespect, I'd truly like to know why anybody would find this to be a good idea or something that would help developers. It seems like just a way for Unity to get more profits out of people in a way that doesn't even really make sense. If they were demanding a higher cut of, actual revenue that was coming into developers, I might be able to at least understand it. But when you're talking about if your demo has reached more than, 200,000 people, then charging 20 cents per install of the demo, that's a big question. Now, they do say $200,000 paid out in the last 12 months and 200,000 installs, but it's not clear if that's per product or per account. And given that it kind of reads as an account basis, that could mean, say you made, a popular game that reached 200,000 people, and you sold that game, assuming, for more than $1, which is going to be the case for most games that sell more than 200,000 copies. Then from there, you now have the ability to be charged for anything else you put out. So within a year, if you've made $200,000 and sold 200,000 copies of whatever, be that a demo, be that a full game, which I feel like across all products a developer releases in a year, 200,000 installs is a pretty low number. I feel like that's not a lot for a developer to hit across everything they make in a year. Unless you're talking about, the smallest of small indie developers, but even when you look at that, Stardew Valley, one-person team, I guarantee you that sold more than $200,000 and 200,000 units. Not that that was a Unity game, I don't believe it was, but my point stands that even a one-person team can hit that quota pretty quickly, and, all it takes is one small indie to blow up for them to reach this number and then start getting charged 20 cents per install on anything they do. It basically provides a penalty for popularity. It makes it to where developers will not be rewarded for their own successes, and that's not an industry I want to be part of. That's not a practice that I want to see come to life. That is not a conducive policy to making better games. It's just putting money in the wrong pockets. The developers that work hard on these games and pay to have these Unity accounts, because they're not free accounts, these are paid accounts already. They should not have to pay for the games they create on this product being successful. Instead, they should be able to focus on their creativity. And Unity, if you want more money, charge them more for the subscription. Do not penalize them for installs. You've just given power to the wrong people all around the table in this equation. This is not what we should be doing, and it's going to have ramifications. I can't imagine that many developers that have the option are going to want to continue working with Unity after this. This is going to spell disaster both for developers who have not trained on other engines and for Unity themselves, who are likely going to see a mass exodus of developers who do not want to get saddled with penalties for success. But that's about all I've got to say on the Unity debacle here. It's not a good situation. It's not a good look for Unity. Games are going to be worse for it, and we're probably going to see a whole lot more Unreal developers in the next year. I have a feeling 2024 is going to be a lean year for Unity. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think that Unity is going to lose anybody? Do you think that this plan is going to get rolled back, which I sincerely hope it does? Or do you think this is just going to be a bump in the road and this is going to become the new status quo? Sound off down there. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.